Good afternoon, and thank you all for joining us. It's a great day to be a Beaver. This is a good time for OSU athletics, and it will only get better. Today we are here to share exciting news about another step that we are taking to provide best-in-class facilities similar to our Raising Research project and some of the upgrades that you see behind me here. What we'll hear today is about the continuation of a comprehensive athletic and educational plan for Beaver sports that started 15 years ago that we are calling Victory Through Valley. This important work has engaged and been supported by our student athletes, the OSU Foundation, and thousands of donors, our alumni, our student body, Oregon State faculty and staff, and most definitely Oregon State President Ed Ray. The results are significant and the investments are impressive. All you have to do is look back here, look out to this beautiful stadium, Raising Research, look at what we've done with Prothro Field, Sports Performance Center, Truax Center, partnership with the campus with the Beth Ray Academic Center, Basketball Practice Center, the new partnership with Good Sam Hospital and the Sports Medicine Clinic, what's happening at Goss Field, and also White Track, just to name a few. All told, Oregon State has invested more than $200 million in athletic facilities over this period. And we are not done. Today I'm pleased to announce plans to expand and renovate the Valley Football Center by 55,000 square feet and to complete this $42 million project by the start of the 2016 season. The expansion of the Valley Football Center will significantly benefit our student athletes, our football program, and all OSU athletic programs. We will be able to recruit better student athletes. We will serve these students more effectively and efficiently than we presently are able to do. In a nutshell, it will be a game changer. There are three main features to the purpose of the project. Number one, recruiting. Brand and image are extremely important part of the recruiting process. We recruit on a national level. Our brand image must and will be of the highest quality. We need the Valley Football Center to reflect our brand in every way so recruits see Oregon State's dedication, commitment, and investment through our facilities. Number two, competitiveness. To compete for championships, we must provide the best opportunities for success for our student athletes. We must keep up with the national trends in major college football. It is not news that facility improvements are one of the biggest trends for competitive programs around the country, and investments in facilities such as the Valley Football Center expansion demonstrate our commitment to win and to compete for championships. Number three, functionality. Quite simply, we've outgrown the building that was opened in 1997. This upgrade will greatly improve the building's functionality and use by student athletes, coaches, and staff. For example, in 1997, we were supporting 90 student athletes. Today, that number is closer to 200, with 3 sets of uniforms and 3 sets of helmets. The helmets got to go somewhere, folks. And investments in facilities like the Valley Football Center expansion demonstrate our commitment to win and compete for championships. I already talked about that, my bad. Okay. This bold vision and investment in Valley Football Center is part of Oregon State's plans for the future. This project will add 55,000 square feet of new and redesigned space, including a spacious new locker room on field level, expanded athletic training and equipment areas. Lightning, you like to hear that part. A new full team meeting room, a new grand atrium entrance, reconstruction of the end zone seating with improved sight lines, and imagine this, a new media center, and a concourse that will connect the east side of the stadium to the west side of the stadium. It is exciting to think about our future West Side story after this transformational Victory Through Valley project is completed. With that, I'd like to turn it over to the President and CEO of the OSU Foundation, Mike Goodwin. Mike?
Thanks, Bob. So thank you, Bob. I told Bob he could move some of those helmets over to the foundation office, but he didn't take me up on that. So here we are this afternoon. But it's really a pleasure to be here representing the OSU Foundation. You know, as many of you know, we are getting close to winding down our $1.1 billion plus, and we'll let you know in a little while, not today, but a little later in the month, what that plus is, campaign for OSU. And as we've been doing that, we've been working with Ed and with the other university leaders to identify a new series of strategic fundraising priorities. And these will include some additional facilities, and they'll include fundraising for other crucial needs, like more financial support for our students. And I'm sure you'd like to hear more about that, but we'll save that for another day because you'll be hearing more about that in the months ahead. I know the big news everybody is here to learn about today is the Valley Football Center, and that's one of those projects, one of those strategic initiatives, and it's off to a great start. In recent weeks, generous anonymous donors have contributed $25 million to get that project off to just the best possible start. The donors who have made those gifts are doing this because they recognize how important this project is to our football program, how important our football program is to our overall athletic program, and indeed to our entire university. So moving quickly on this project is a top priority for the foundation. It's a top priority for the university. Ed and I are going to be very engaged in it. Bob and Jim Patterson and our whole Beaver Nation fundraising team are all going to be having this as job one. These generous gifts that we've had in the last few weeks have put us well on the path to success. We've also had a lot of conversations with other donors, and we're confident that we have many, many other people who will be joining us in the near future to complete the project. But the interesting thing in talking to donors about this is that they really recognize that this project is about more than bricks and mortar. And I think if you go back to what Jacoby Ellsbury said last summer when he gave his $1 million to support Pat Casey's project, our athletic programs at OSU are really about learning how to be a successful athlete and learning how to be a successful person. And the donors who are making these gifts really resonate with that kind of thinking. They really care about young people. They really care about education. They really care about our student athletes. They want them to have the tools to be the best they can be on the field. They also recognize that striving to be as good as you possibly can be in athletics can carry over to so many other aspects of our lives. So it's really been a pleasure to work with the donors who are interested in this project. And for all these reasons, the OSU Foundation is really proud to be a partner with our athletic program and with our university on this important project. And now, thank you for coming today, but it's a pleasure to bring up here our President, Ed Ray.
Good afternoon. How are you all doing? I don't know about you, but I'm pretty excited about that new media center. But let me tell you what I'm actually a little more excited about. I don't know if any of you have seen me on game day, but I visit with supporters on both sides of the stadium here in the Valley end zone and the visiting AD box, and I go outside and I walk around the stadium, and I go up to the other side and I come down and I walk around to the first side and I go back up again. It's going to be nice to have a concourse where you can actually stay in the stadium and get from one side to the other. So that's pretty basic. I'm looking forward to that. This is a very important day for us, a very important project. Bob has already talked about the incredible effort we've undertaken over the last decade in terms of facilities related to athletics, $200 million in projects. If you walk around the campus, you will see that there has been transformational change across the university. And frankly, a sort of clarion call we put out when we talked about raising research was that this was going to be a world-class facility. And that from now on, at least on my watch, everything we do is going to be world-class. And it's not just about facilities, it's about programs, it's about the people we bring here, it's about how we represent ourselves with respect to academics, research, community service, service to the nation and the world. Everything needs to be world-class. As already has been mentioned, the Valley Football Center expansion and the investments that we've made in all of these facilities are part of that broader transformation that we've been involved in. In fact, the Valley Center project is one of our top 3 projects for the entire university over the next biennium. We've submitted proposals that have strong support from the governor and the Higher Education Coordinating Commission for a marine studies campus, for a forest science complex, and this Valley End Zone project is among our top 3. And as Mike indicated, he's ready to go anywhere, meet with anybody. I'm willing to go anywhere, meet with anybody. Trust me, I don't have a big head. I understand that when the president of a university shows up at an athletic event with fans, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, the president is not exactly. People want to meet the coach, you know, whoever the coach is, whatever the sport is. So I don't expect I'm going to be the big draw, but I am willing to make it clear that I'm committed to being there and being part of this team that's going to make this happen and happen really fast. You know, we're talking about opening up by autumn of 16. That's not that far off, given you actually got to build something. And so we're going to move really quickly on this, and that has me very excited as well. So again, you know, whether it's the facilities you've seen here that we've done, or the Valley End Zone project, the projects across the campus, the incredible transformational changes that have occurred in our academic programs, research accomplishments, our student profile, and so forth. All of that has been wonderful. Mike mentioned the campaign, $1 billion plus in our first ever university-wide campaign. What I told people at the end of October, when we sort of had our celebration of the campaign for OSU, and this is important for you to hear about athletics as well, we're not done. We are not even close to done. The best is yet to come. The best for Oregon State University and the best for our athletics program. Now, I'll tell you a funny story. When we broke ground for the Raising Research project to put this wonderful part of the stadium together, I found out at halftime of the spring game, it was my first or second year here, I think it was Mike Parker said, "You go right after Bob." And I said, "Well, what do you mean? Where am I going?" He said, "No, when Bob speaks, then you speak right after he does." I said, "Well, nobody told me that." And I don't know, we had 15 or 20,000 fans. I said, "Well, nobody told me that." He says, "Well, just say something and get excited and they'll love it." So anyway, it's my turn to speak. And basically what I said then that I want to repeat to you now because I meant it then, and I'll tell you the funny part of the story. I told people this is going to be a world-class facility. As I said at the outset, everything we do here needs to be world-class. And I told the crowd, and I told our co-captains were there for the groundbreaking, I said, it needs to be understood that this is our house. This is our house. Anyone who comes here and doesn't bring their A game with them is going to get their butt handed to them. And they need to understand that. That's what we're about here. We're about building a world-class facility for the Valley End Zone. And it's to send a message that I expect our players, coaches, fans, everybody to understand that this is our house. And if people don't bring their A game with them, they're going to wish to God they did. Well, as you can imagine, the fans loved that, went crazy. So then we get over to the groundbreaking part, and one of our co-captains, names will not be mentioned, but he sort of leaned over to me, he says, "Gee, President Ray, I really liked what you said, especially that part about if they don't bring their A game, what's going to happen to them?" And I looked at him and laughed, and I said, "You know, you're very young. I said it, but you have to do it." So to all of our players, present and future, that's the challenge. Back up those words. If you don't do it, it doesn't happen. Thank you all for being here.